Everybody wants to tell you, you've lost weight, or oti put on. Yeah, Yoruba aunties, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Kilo Shelaga people, I hope you're all doing well. My name is Farida. If you're from the original gang, you already know that. But if this is your first time viewing any of my content, then welcome. I create health and wellness content to help people live their healthiest, most nourished lives, and it has nothing to do with being skinny or looking a certain way. It's just to be happy, healthy, and just live your best life. So today I'm going to be talking about finally getting the body that you will love. But before I get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. Over the next few videos I'll be posting, one of them is going to have a natural skincare giveaway. Now, I would really love for you to win, but you have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram in order to be eligible. I haven't exactly decided how I'm going to choose the winner yet, but it's a really good quality product, and I think it will be fantastic just to engage with you guys and hopefully give one lucky winner this fantastic product. So let's just get into the video. So, like I said, I'm going to be trying to help you finally have the body that you will love. Now, it requires a process. It probably will take some time, but you know what? It's absolutely achievable. It's something that I finally achieved after years and years and years of just like self-loathing and hating my body. And I feel like, this will help you out too. Now, this is unconventional advice. I'm not going to tell you to go to the gym. I'm not going to tell you to eat foods that you hate. I'm not going to tell you to do things that you don't like. I'm just going to show you stuff that maybe you haven't thought about before. And hopefully by the end of the video, you'll genuinely be on your way to loving the body that you will have at the end of this process. So, tip number 1, letting go of expectations. We need to let go of the idea that this is the ideal. Think about when you were a child, the things you used to wear, what you used to do, what you spent your time thinking about. I remember being 10 years old, wearing a crop top that by today's standards, I had no business wearing because my stomach was all out. But you know what? I didn't care because I just wanted to wear that top. It was my birthday, it was a fun time, and I really didn't give a crap what anybody thought. So when did it become apparent, even to me, that my stomach was something I needed to hide or tuck in or be ashamed of? I've never been a person to overeat. I've never been like big into food. So it's always been really burdensome for me thinking about how much less food I have to eat to look like the ideal. For me, I remember being 13 and being told that I needed to hold in my stomach because boys don't like, flabby guts or whatever. No one was really wondering, asking me or talking to me about my health, about whether there were things I was eating that were unhealthy, whether my diet was balanced. We never talked about that. We just first of all talked about losing weight from such an early age that to me now it's so ridiculous talking about losing weight in junior school. And 2, making people feel like they were you must be gluttonous if your stomach is not fat. Like you must have overeaten, you must have done the most, you must have no self-control and no discipline. These are all just ideas that come from chasing this ideal. And we need to question where these ideals come from. Big bums only became a thing literally maybe in the last decade, maybe a bit over, but it really wasn't. I mean, in the 90s, like I know all my aunties were trying to be like bone thin. So are you going to place those expectations on yourself for an ideal that society keeps changing? Or are you going to focus on, okay, what does my body actually need? How does my body process food? What food groups does my body need? What vitamins, what minerals? Actually, all of us need all the food groups, but just asking yourselves questions that are specific to you as an individual and not what will make you look like this so-called ideal. Because you can't be chasing after a trending body. What are you going to do when that trend goes out of style? You'll spend your entire life chasing after these ideals and expectations that have been placed on you from external sources since you were way too young to decipher, what you wanted for yourself. So essentially, letting go of expectations means customizing your living and eating experience for yourself to make sure that your body is nourished and getting what it needs to be the vessel that you need. Tip number 2 is honoring your body's needs. Now, I've talked about this before, that intuitively our bodies know what they want. Our bodies know when they want nourishment. Our bodies know when they want exercise. Our bodies know what they want, but we don't listen to them, and we try and force certain rules on ourselves and on our bodies. We've all learned different unhealthy habits about what our bodies need based on a template, which doesn't make sense because each and every one of us are so different. The template tells you count calories, don't eat anything you love, exercise like an animal. No, like everyone's body is not like that. Everybody's body is unique, everybody's body. And you need to honor what your body specifically needs. So when I say honor your body's needs, specifically what I'm saying is learn the difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger, for example. Emotional hunger can come from boredom, depression, it can be situational. Physical hunger is when your body is like, okay, we need a top up on fuel. You need to listen to your body to know the difference between those things. Sometimes you're just thirsty. Like I mentioned, sometimes you're just bored. Have those internal conversations so that you know what's going on inside. And then you respect what your body is asking for and just give it. If every time you're hungry, you go to eat, but you feel that you're always lethargic, your body may be asking you for exercise. And not exercise in terms of 6 days a week, 6 hours a day in the gym. It doesn't have to look like that. It's just any form of movement that makes you happy, that gets your heart rate going, and that also works your muscles. I can go into a whole other video about your body's needs, but if you look through my previous videos, you'll see things about understanding calories, what your ideal plate should look like, different forms of movement you can consider, and just make sure that it's the needs that your body is calling out for that you respond to, as opposed to following a one-size-fits-all diet that is just unrealistic. Once you honor these needs, your body is going to feel so much better. Your mind is going to be sharper. Your body will just function much more efficiently, and you will love your body for that. Remember that your body is this machine that's keeping you going, helping you achieve so much in your career, helping you love other people, helping you enjoy life. So just respect it and honor it, and don't put it down, by looking at its physical appearance and convincing yourself that it's not good enough. Tip number 3. Identifying and beautifying your favorite parts. Now, this is something that I know is so tough, because whenever I used to go into the mirror in the morning, the first thing I would just look at is my stomach and just be like, why? Fat, rolls, what are you doing there? I never ever would wake up in the morning and look at my face, or look at my hair, or look at my skin, or any of the things that I actually really love about my body. My first instinct whenever I got up was, first of all, to see if my stomach was miraculously flat and curved in the middle, which, needless to say, it basically never was. Unless I had gone through a dieting bout, and maybe like for the last few weeks, I haven't had any chocolates, I haven't had any bread, I haven't had any rice, none of the things that I actually enjoy, then maybe some mornings I'll wake up and it's like kind of okay. But I never, ever, up to this point, achieved that ideal that I wanted to see in the morning. And I promise you, it's not because I was lazy, it's not because I was gluttonous, it's not because I was out of control and don't have discipline, none of those things. It was just because I was refusing to accept my body's natural weight, my body's set point. And please don't misunderstand me. Some people are overweight and unhealthy because they're not paying attention to their body's intuitive cues. They're not paying attention to what I mentioned in tip number 2, which is honoring their body's actual needs. So I'm not saying that people who are overeating or undereating don't need help. I always make that point, but that's not the majority of cases. In majority of cases, people are just not accepting their genetics. They're just not accepting their body set points, like their natural weight. And I guess those are mostly the people that I'm addressing. Most people that think they're overweight or underweight really are not. Like, that's just how your body naturally is, and you need to focus on beautifying those parts of yourself. So a practical tip is to take the time to go from head to toe and identify all the things that you love about yourself. Do you have beautiful eyes? I read this in a book actually, where there's a lady that they asked, what do you love about yourself? And she said nothing, like 3 times. And they said, you know what, you have to pick one thing. And she said, okay, her wrists and maybe her ankles. And I guess that's because those were the smallest parts of her body. And they said, you know what, let's start there. Get some bracelets, get some bangles, just look at your wrists and your ankles, you know, at different points in the day and make yourself feel good. So stop focusing on the parts of your body that you don't like or the parts of your body that don't fit into the stereotype. What do you love about yourself? Focus on those things and beautify those things. You know, actually take the time to take care of yourself, and yeah, it will make a world of difference, I promise. The fourth thing I would say is prioritizing your opinion over other people's opinions. Now, this is so difficult to do because human beings be opinionated. Everybody wants to tell you, you've lost weight, or what you put on. Yeah, Yoruba aunties, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. But you have to come to a place where you block out everybody's opinion about how you look. And like I said, if you identify things you love about yourself and you amplify and beautify those things more and more as you look at yourself and appreciate your beauty, you're really not going to care what anybody else thinks. And I found this, you know, even leading up to my wedding, I mean literally like the day before my wedding, I had someone mention to me that, oh, you know, it looks like I've put on weight. And I was like, yeah, because guess what? 3 months to my wedding, I had a slip disc. I had every intention to work out and be snatched and whatever, but I had a slip disc. I could barely walk. And like I said, I'm not a big foodie, but eating my normal diet and being inactive meant that I definitely put on weight before my wedding. But fortunately, I had started changing my mentality so that when someone told me the day before my wedding that I had put on weight, I was like, yeah, like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to not enjoy my wedding. I had the best time. I wore my dress like that, enjoyed myself, whatever. And I looked great. I was very, very happy with the way, you know, my looks turned out and stuff. It wasn't, if I had had to imagine what I would look like for my wedding a year before I actually got married, I would have been depressed about the fact that I couldn't exercise, and also because I couldn't exercise and I was in so much pain, I love chocolate, that's my comfort food. So even leading up to my wedding, like, I really was going through so much pain that I did not have even the opportunity to be thinking about, you know, oh, I'm gonna look fat or whatever, like, no. And guess what? My wedding was great, I had a fantastic time, my friends were there, my family was there, I had like no issues. So yeah, you need to start prioritizing your opinion over others. I know it's much easier said than done, but that's why at the beginning I said this thing is going to be a bit of a process, but I don't know how else to put it to you. Like, you really need to figure out what your opinion is of yourself, form your opinion based on the positive things that you love about yourself, and then damn the rest, because yeah, people are going to be people and they will always have something to say. And tip number 5 is allowing yourself to exist uniquely in the world. And I can't stress this enough. Just think about your day-to-day life and imagine that every single woman you came across looked exactly the same, and every single man you came across looked exactly the same. What would the world be like? No flavor, absolutely no flavor. It's like, I don't know, potatoes with no salt. That is literally how bland our existence would be if everyone was exactly the same. You are you, and you exist in this like blink of time, and in the grand scheme of the history of the entire world, there's only going to be one version of you. First of all, why is your focus on how you look? Tell me how much Rosa Parks weighed. Tell me. We don't know, because nobody cares how much Rosa Parks weighed or whether her stomach was flat. Nobody cares. Everyone will remember her for what impact she had on, you know, securing fundamental human rights for Black people. But the way that you're designed, including how you look on the outside, is so unique to you. It's so specific to you. Your experience of going through the world, your relationship with food, your relationship with just honoring your body, just making sure that your body is fit. Just pay attention to that. Don't prioritize these externalities when you have so much to give. One thing that I always keep in mind for myself is the function of my body. There are so many things I want to do. There's so many people I want to help. I'm in such a position that I can do so much. Like, I can create so much. I know that I can help people. I know that I can have some sort of influence in the time that I'm, on this earth. And I've decided to make that my priority. And when I do think about my physical appearance, I've decided to prioritize the positive things that I love about myself. So allow yourself to exist in this world and exist fully and unapologetically. You don't owe anybody explanations for your eating habits or, how fit you are or whatever. People asking you, you put on weight, what happened? You've lost weight, what happened? You don't owe anybody an explanation. What have you been doing with your time? What value have you been creating? I feel like we need to focus more on stuff like this, especially for us women. Women have been denied the opportunity to create value in society for so long. And now we're just experiencing so much more liberation and the opportunity to actually do more. So let's just focus on that. I'm not saying you shouldn't care about how you look. As you can see, I put myself together before making this video, but I've decided on the things that I love about myself, and those are going to be my focus going forward. As long as I'm healthy, as long as I'm moving, and making sure that I'm listening to my body. So with these 5 tips, if you're able to practically implement them in your life, I promise you that you will end up with the body that you love. And that body is not going to look like anybody else's. It's not going to matter who tells you that you look good or not. It's just going to be yours. It's going to be precious. It's going to be unique. And it's going to be the body that you already have right now. So I hope it wasn't too annoying that the title was a little bit clickbaity, because I'm sure a lot of people were thinking that I was going to give you some kind of diet plan or something. But honestly, this is what has worked for me. I'm at the healthiest I've ever been. I'm at the happiest I've ever been. I literally make no comparisons anymore, and I'm able to appreciate beautiful women. I'm able to appreciate, a diverse range of women, and just, appreciate the uniqueness that everybody brings to this little patchwork blanket of life that we're creating. Okay, I'm rambling now. I hope this was helpful. I hope you go back and sort of go from step to step, consider all these things, write about them, and how you plan to incorporate them in your life. And please share in the comment section how this video made you feel. Did you feel like, oh, this is ridiculous and this is not going to make me feel better? Or do you feel a little bit empowered, just thinking about how you can actually just take charge of the situation and love the body that you already have? I would really love to hear from you guys, so please comment, like the video, and also subscribe to my channel so that I can, no, I won't send you the notifications, but YouTube will send you the notifications whenever I upload something new. And I always say, remember that nothing good in life has ever missed you because of belly fat.